The holographic seal dissolved into golden particles as Orla finished reading the letter for the third time. Her hands trembled, not from fear but from the sudden weight of a truth she'd never asked to carry. "You're being ridiculous," Lewis said from across the observation deck, his reflection ghostly against the starfield beyond. "It's obviously a scam. The Dragon Council doesn't just send letters to random humans. I'm not random." Orla's voice was steady, though her heart hammered against her ribs, and apparently neither is my mother. The letter had arrived through official channels, authenticated by no fewer than 7 galactic authorities. It bore the crimson seal of the Dragon Council, the governing body of the Dracthyr species, and it contained words that had shattered everything Orla thought she knew about herself. "Your biological mother, Commander Velshara of the Dracthyr Expeditionary Fleet, formally requests your presence at the Council's headquarters. Matters of inheritance and species classification require immediate attention." Species classification? Lewis moved closer, concern creasing his forehead. "Orla, you're human. Born on Europa Station. Raised on Earth. I've known you since we were kids." "Then explain this." Orla pulled up her sleeve, revealing the pattern she'd always dismissed as a birthmark. Under the ship's scanning lights it shimmered, iridescent scales forming a perfect geometric pattern. "I had it analyzed yesterday. The medical AI couldn't identify the cellular structure, said it was biologically impossible." Lewis stared, his usual skepticism wavering. "They'd served together on the Prometheus for 2 years, exploring the frontier regions where human space met the territories of 100 alien species. He'd seen her survive environmental hazards that should have killed any human. He'd watched her communicate with species whose languages existed in frequency ranges humans couldn't perceive. He'd never questioned it. Until now. "The Dragon Council doesn't recognize half-breeds," Lewis said quietly. "Their genetic purity laws are infamous. If your mother is Dracthyr and she abandoned you, she didn't abandon me." Orla's fingers curled into fists. "According to this, she hid me. There's a difference. The Dracthyr were among the oldest spacefaring species in the known galaxy. They resembled Earth's mythological dragons, massive, scaled, capable of surviving in vacuum, and possessing a natural ability to manipulate electromagnetic fields. They were also zealously isolationist, considering other species inferior. Humans, in particular, were something of a joke to them. Fragile, short-lived, confined to pressurized environments and gravity wells. When humanity had first reached for the stars, the Dracthyr had watched with amused contempt, certain these upstart primates would destroy themselves within a few generations. They'd been watching for 50 years now. Humanity hadn't destroyed itself. In fact, humans had become something unexpected. Survivors. Adaptable. Innovative. Stubbornly refusing to accept any limitations the universe threw at them. The Dragon Council had noticed. And apparently so had Commander Velshara. "Why now?" Lewis asked. "Why wait 24 years to reach out?" Orla returned to the letter, scrolling past the formal greetings to the section that had frozen her blood. "Recent conflicts have demonstrated that humanity possesses qualities the Council previously dismissed. Your mother believes her decision to preserve your dual heritage and to allow you to be raised among humans has proven correct. The Council disagrees. This summons will determine your legal status and whether you represent a threat to Dracthyr genetic integrity or an opportunity for reconsideration of certain long-held policies. They want to study me," Orla said flatly, "like a lab specimen." "Then don't go." Lewis grabbed her shoulder. "You're a citizen of the Earth Alliance. You're protected by what? Laws that don't acknowledge I'm anything other than human." Orla pulled away. "If the Council decides I'm Dracthyr property, the Alliance won't start a war over one person. You know that?" Lewis was silent because they both knew she was right. Humanity was still the newcomer on the galactic stage. Still proving itself, the Alliance chose its battles carefully. "There's something else," Orla continued. "Something the letter doesn't say, but I can read between the lines. My mother didn't just hide me, she made me, deliberately, a Dracthyr and a human." She laughed bitterly. "That's not supposed to be biologically possible. The genetic divergence is too extreme. But she found a way. Why would she do that? Because she saw something in humanity that her people refused to see." Orla moved to the observation window, pressing her palm against the cold glass. "She saw us surviving in environments that should kill us. thriving on worlds the Drakthir abandoned, building communities in the harshest reaches of space. She saw us as more than primitives playing with technology we didn't understand. She saw us as equals, Lewis breathed, or at least as having potential, and she wanted to prove it. What better proof than a child who could survive in both worlds? The ship's intercom crackled. Lieutenant Voss, Commander Hayes, report to the bridge. We're approaching the rendezvous coordinates. Orla had made her decision before the letter arrived, really. Some part of her had always known she was different, had always felt the pull of something beyond human understanding. The dreams of flying through nebulae without a ship, of speaking in colors and electromagnetic pulses, of sensing the magnetic fields of stars like warmth on her skin. You're actually going, Lewis said. I have to know, not just about my mother or the Drakthir, about what I am, what I could be. She turned to face him, and for a moment her eyes reflected light in a way that was distinctly not human. And maybe I need to show the Dragon Council something. Show them what? That they were wrong. About humanity, about half-breeds, about the idea that genetic purity equals strength. Orla smiled, fierce and determined. My mother hid me because she believed in something her people couldn't accept. Now it's time to finish what she started. You're insane, Lewis said, but he was smiling too. You know that, right? Walking into the Dragon Council's headquarters to tell them they're wrong? Probably. But someone once told me that's the most human thing you can do, look at impossible odds and say, watch me. I never said that. No, but you thought it. I could tell. Orla headed for the door, then paused. Come with me, Lewis. If I'm going to show the galaxy what humanity and the Drakthir could accomplish together, I'll need a witness. Someone stubborn enough to stand beside a half-breed abomination and refuse to back down. Lewis fell into step beside her. You're not an abomination. Tell that to the Dragon Council. Oh, I intend to. As they walked toward the bridge, Orla felt the scales on her arm pulse with warmth. Somewhere ahead, beyond the viewport and the stars, her mother waited. A Drakthir commander who had defied her entire species for a vision of what might be possible. The letter had changed everything. But the story, Orla's story, humanity's story, was just beginning, and the galaxy, she thought, had no idea what was coming.